Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of DG360's financials for Cloud Imperium. Yeah, I know it's going to be exciting for some of you, and for others, they are literally changing the channel right now. Hold on, let me get their interest by putting in an explosion right here. And welcome back. I'll put that in every minute or two to keep those people interested. What I would like to say first is that this video will be put into chapters because I realize this is going to be a longer video and people want to get to the point. Now, if you want just the point and you want to click away, here's my overall analysis, and I will give it to you very succinctly. Is we have record-breaking revenues in 2019 from Cloud Imperium, the makers of Star Citizen, created by Chris Roberts, and we have record-breaking losses. That is really the gist of what it is that I'm seeing from this report, and it is not something that I would say is a good thing. And I will go over the rest of this video and tell you my opinions and why I think what I'm seeing here in 2019 is not good. It does not mean that I don't believe in the project. Every time I go over financials, I usually end up losing support because there's many angry fanboys that say, I can't believe it, I thought you really loved Star Citizen, which I do. I love the project. This is just my opinions as to their business. Also, my background, I have been a stock trader as my primary source of income from 2006 to 2016. No, I do not have any business degree. No, I did not have any piece of paper that says I'm an expert. I just am self-taught. I learned how to trade equities on the New York Stock Exchange. I did that for a very long time, supported my family with it, made enough money to actually call it a living, and raised my two kids up into later ages, basically a trader for over 10 years. And I've heard many different conference calls and seen many different quarterly reports and been on those calls. This is an interest for me, and this is why I cover it at my own expense. So let's go look at 2019's overall counting, basically showing our income here. And this is their income from those pledges. Usually income dictates the fact that you have to sell something to make money. Doesn't mean, they're trying to be shady or trick you here. It just, they're being smart about it, and this is how they present it because they don't want to be liable and say that, hey, these are sales. We're essentially, taking your pledges. You are supporting this game. It's in the fine print on RSI. That is officially what you're doing. But for the rudimentary, simplicity of it, if you're looking at this as a business model, these are sales, and they're making money from their ship sales, and it's a smart business plan. It's a smart business plan up until the point when the game's released, and then what are they going to do? That's a great video. That's a great topic. Perhaps they'll sell ships after the fact. It's their primary source of income. We can see it here. As you can see, the pledges are the large blue bars, and those pledges make up much more than 3/4 of each bar for each year. So you can see here in 2019, we have over 60 million in total amount of income. So we can see the subscriptions have gone up 3.6 from 3.2. That's a nice little bump up. We would like to see the subscription money start going to more production, like what we saw in the animated sequence that was just released, which was, I thought, really well done, and I would love to see more of that. And I hope that the subscription money can start being put towards projects like that. would be wonderful. Other income like incentives and partnerships. We know that SIG is a private company. They do not have to share this data with us. So it is very nice that they do this. I think it's great that they do this and they're this transparent and they show us everything. This is a very, very cool thing when a company doesn't have to do this and they're doing it. And this is something that we said for a very long time because we were guessing as to what was going on inside. That analysis was almost dead on. And then was saying during this time, hey, it'd be great to see Cloud Imperium put up financials, and boom, they started put up financials, and I think it was a very smart move. I think that was very smart of Chris to do, and of course, because they're reliable by putting these numbers out, they're going to be dead on. So for other people that are saying, oh, these numbers are fake, and no, that is not, they would be absolutely dim-witted and they would not shoot themselves in the foot like that. These numbers are going to be as close as possible to what they're sending to the IRS and what they're sending over to Companies House. These are all legit numbers. They're not going to be lying about their numbers and what they're putting in. So that is another topic I wanted to get into real quick before, we hear that. Now, the other argument then becomes, why do you want to see them make money, DG? Why is it important that you see them make a profit? And really, there's so many people out there that think it's a healthy thing that year after year you're seeing losses and losses and losses. And, I'll go down here to our trading costs and basically expenses. This is your expenses column, and everything is going to be red here because these are all your expenses. So when you see all this red here, it's not necessarily a bad thing because everything they're showing us here is going to be cost related. So everything is going to be red. The point is that I don't want to see so much I don't want to see increases in costs so much to the point where it's automatically subsuming or completely consuming all my income. And I will say, like, year after year, this is what we can see from Cloud Imperium and some people would say, hey, it's growth, DG, settle down, it's just growth. There is an element of this, obviously, where they continue to grow, and you have to ask yourself, how much more do you want them to grow? In an environment that is a pandemic environment, an environment where a lot of people are working from home, you also have to question these expenses, and you have to say to yourself, are all these offices necessary? Will they be in the future? These are things that the chief financial officer, I'm sure, of Cloud Imperium thinks as well. And I wonder, how much credence is given to the CFO versus what Chris wants. And that becomes also an issue of business management, how the money is spent. And that's where I want to focus in the financials with Cloud Imperium, is saying, okay, like, what expenses happen because they are necessary for the growth of the company versus something that would be called pork belly or fat, or just doing it to do it. And these are issues that I have with Cloud Imperium, and especially looking at their 2019 financials when we have record-breaking revenues. Seeing record-breaking losses is not a great thing. It's not a great thing. Why is it important that a company start to post profit rather than losses every year? Well, financial health is very important as far as getting money, acquiring new capital, right? And people would say again, well, DG, look, you got the CALDERs, you had the CALDER money come in, you had fresh investment come in. Yes, I get it. That's great. These investors also would like to see profit. I mean, the CALDERs, if they continue to see like negative posts in quarterlies and in yearlies, their P&Ls always coming back with losses instead of profit. Eventually, that's not good psychology for investors, for private investors like the CALDERs, to continue to see losses. It's not a smart thing for a company to continue to post losses. Because what ends up happening is that money dries up, that capital dries up. It's harder to be fluid. It's harder to stay afloat, bring cash in for operation of your company. So it is important to post profit. It is important, whether you're private or you're a public company, to post a profit. Again, we get into a chicken and the egg argument because they are a private company and they do not have to show us these financials. I completely understand, but since they are, and that we can see them, it becomes important for them as a company to withstand bad times, to be able to be capital fluent, to bring in that for operations of their business. Because if they continue to show losses, banks, financial institutions, and private investors all say together, why should we give you money? You're not managing it correctly because you're not posting any profits. Why would I get involved? Somebody who continually loses money. And again, you're going to see people who are going to say, DG, they're not really losing money. This is creative accounting. Yes, I get it. There is creative accounting involved. Of course there is. But this is what they are showing. What you're showing is how it's going. This is, so what we see here, salaries increased 2019, 39 million. Okay. Other game dev costs 8.9 million. All right. So far, like here, the salaries. Okay. Our salary increase, pretty big bump up. They brought in a lot of people. I get into the situation where I talk about this every once in a while in my community, talking about like throwing a huge amount of developers at a problem versus a select few that know exactly how to take care of the issues. And again, it seems to me when we're talking about getting towards an end goal here for Squadron 42 and for the PU, that what I see from Cloud Imperium is, okay, let us just hire more people. The more people that we bring in, of course, we'll be able to fix these problems. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that philosophy. Again, this might not be happening in the company. This is my analysis of it. Is I think what's going on is they're hiring more people to fix the problem sooner, and sometimes bringing more cooks in the kitchen, not necessarily the solution. There's growth, this insane growth, over 600 people right now. I have to question, is it warranted? Do we need this amount of people? And that is a very large expense. It is their biggest expense. One of their biggest. I think it is the biggest expense. So you have to ask yourself, like, if you cut costs anywhere, where could you cut them? Now, these are real people with real jobs and real lives. Okay. You're bringing people on. You want to keep them on. I understand. I've been saying this since 2017. This growth, this insane kind of growth, bringing more and more and more and more employees in, and still having issues of delays with the game. We're not seeing a connection here. And this is what you'd hear from other financial advisors. If in any company, listening to quarterlies, listening to yearly profit and losses, yearly P&Ls like we're looking at right now, they're going to ask these types of questions. And stock price will be affected because of these questions. And this would be one of those questions that would make the stock go down. This correlation of bringing this growth. It's a tech company. Yes, I get it. You're going to have people saying it's tech, it's tech, it's tech. Of course, you got to keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. But there's a point of reflection here. Within these 7 years now, the expenses are continuing to go up. The expenses are in all but 1 year, 2016. So in 2016, we see a reduction in expenses. We see a trimming of the fat. That's a good thing, actually, sometimes to see that. So that's something I just kind of want to get off my chest there when we're looking at these. We see contracted game dev costs going up significantly, publishing operations and community events and marketing, which In that column, I believe are server related costs. So I get why that one's going to go up and that will continue to go up. And I'm fine with those costs going up because server related issues and server stability and anything server related, I think there needs to be a large proportion of money being put into that column. And then you got general and admin costs going up to 2.2. It's getting a little lofty. Look at the increase, though, from last year, this year, almost doubling in general and admin. Interesting. Professional advice. Like, we need help. Give us professional advice. we're going to spend a lot more there because, the longer and longer the project goes. Anyhow. Other game development costs, overheads. Other game development costs represent the cost of operating the various studios and including such expenses as office rental and maintenance, travel and accommodation, IT, and other costs not included elsewhere, increased by 17%. And this is an area where I'm hoping to see reductions next year because of everything that happened in 2020. It's pretty significant. The purple bar being the second largest expenditure cost right there. I would like to see that decrease next year. CapEx spend in 2019 was significantly up on 2018, which itself was comparatively low, particularly in the rest of world territories. CapEx was one of the primary areas targeted following the minority investment in 2018, which would have been the CALDER investment. Headcount analysis. So we're over 600 members and 600 employees in 2019. So up 16% from 2018. Here's a section where we can see profit and losses. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, so that, like I said, entitled in the video, you see here 60 million, 60.5 million in revenue, but we have almost a 10 million loss. So we have record-breaking revenue, record-breaking loss. 2018, again, record-breaking revenues, record-breaking loss. See, there's a very big jump in those revenues too, going from 2017 and 2018. They really kind of pumped it into overdrive. But you can see that a lot of it has to do with this minority investment, where you see the CALDER money coming in at 46 million. You see how they put the 46 million in there as the minority investment. Then you got another 17 million here coming in 2019. Which is the second half, which we think that there was an option in the contract in which the CALDERs had the ability to put more money and get a reduced rate in the amount of cost on the shares of Cloud Imperium that are privately held, privately owned shares within the company. And we think that they had an option hit to where they could get reduced cost on the price on the shares, and the CALDERs the contract, the option hit in the contract, and then they bought more shares at reduced pricing. So we can see that this big bump in their cumulative net position is really this 46 million here. So, and they still posted a $7 million loss in 2018 with that investment. And here we go. In 2019, the second portion of this investment comes in from the CALDERs was 17 million. And you can see a cumulative net position after the investments made at 60 million. They're still losing 9.7 million. So that's not really that healthy, including investment. And then still posting, losses after including, investment. Cumulative positions of all income less all costs and CapEx is identified above the end of each year. The 2019 accounting shows the group continues to push forward on all fronts, buoyed by the minority investment in the prior year. So they're admitting, hey, we're able to continue because of these investments. What it says. It's important for people to understand, because we've been saying that on the channel for a very long time. Saying without these investments from the CALDERs, this project probably would not have been able to continue forward. And that's something to really think about. I want people to understand. I hope there's still some people left watching, and I hope that you guys get that. If it was not for that investment, they probably put their heads under the water and they probably would have drowned. Because this is how they're operating. They're growing faster than they can handle. They're spending more than they should. Again, my financial analysis, my opinion based upon the numbers. I think what we're seeing here is a statement from the CFO saying the same thing, essentially. And you really have to read into that. You really have to look at it and say, oh my God, yes, the CFO is saying that they were able to continue to operate forward because of this investment money. Has allowed it to plan longer term and invest in important areas that support the growth ahead. The group has continued to deliver steadily improved builds each quarter throughout the year. This has attracted more and more people into the ecosphere who, once engaged, fully participate in the unique product being developed. At the time of writing, I am pleased to report that 2020 has gone even better than 2019. And again, they have to put a good face on this. They have to put a smiley face on this. But there are problems underneath. And those problems really come down to the management of the company inside financially. And I am pro this project. I want Star Citizen to become a reality. And you will see many, many people who get angry at this video. I think I've put out my analysis and my opinions in a way that is not biased. I've put this out there. Here it is. These are the numbers. And I've kind of gone over this with you and explained my views on it. You can say I'm wrong. That's fine. It's fine. You're entitled to your own opinions. This does not mean that I am disrespecting anyone that's working there. I'm not angry at anyone. I am just merely giving my opinions as to what I think of the financial health of Cloud Imperium, which overall, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and this is what really upsets me the most, is not good. Even after these record-breaking revenues, I really wanted to see this loss column go down. I didn't want to see a loss. I wanted to see a profit. With record-breaking revenues, you want to see profit, period. When you're a company and you're on a quarterly call or a year-end profit and loss P&L call with your investors, with your financial investors, financial institutions, and your CFO is on that call, they're making the call and they're telling people what they think. They got to put the good face on it because they have record-breaking revenues and a record-breaking loss. And that is not something that is good, no matter how many times you try and say it, no matter how you try and swing it or present it. It is a record-breaking loss. And that sticks. That's what sticks. That's what people gravitate to. That's the headline. And that's why I entitled the video like that. And it's not good. It's not good. They have to find a way to start making money. Don't want to hear about the creative accounting bullshit argument. Don't want to hear about this is what that happens in the tech industry. Don't want to hear it. And neither would a lot of investors if they were on that call. They wouldn't want to hear it either. And you would see a definite hit in stock price, in valuation in stock price. If this was a public company that offered stock on the exchange, this would get hit hard. This stock would get hit hard. And, there are privately owned shares that the CALDERs own. They're seeing this, and I can guarantee you they are not really happy about this either. That's where I'm standing right now. I'm going a little bit negative on the financial kind of business model, even though the ships are bringing in tons of revenue. Great. I'm more negative on what they're doing with the money. the short and long of it is that I am concerned about how they are spending money. We'll see. We'll just keep seeing. I'm very curious now what 2020 is going to be, but I'm very disappointed in what I'm seeing this year on the P&L. So, that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it is. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop covering Star Citizen. Doesn't mean I'm, poo-pooing all over the project or the people that work there. It just means, hey, I'm not really happy with this 2019 P&L. And that's how I did, everyone. I hope for some of you this was a fun video. Didn't put those explosions in like I had planned. But hey, it is what it is. And that's all that it is. So thanks, everyone. I will try and, continue to update people in any financial developments that happen at Cloud Imperium, as I think it's my responsibility as a content creator and what I would say a game development journalist, and give my opinions on these types of matters, because I think this is important. I think it is important, and I will continue to do so even at my own expense, because there's so many people that I said, like before, was just going to be like, oh, F this guy, FDG. But I know that there's a lot of you out there that understand that I do. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next vid or stream. DG360 is brought to you by our amazing patrons and YouTube membership. Become one today and get full access to monthly giveaways, the exclusive DG360 podcast, members only posts, IRL vlogs, badges, emoticons, VIP Discord chat, and so much more. How much more? Every single member of this community is awesome. They're like family. In fact, I'm going over to their house for dinner tonight. Thank you for your support and your consideration.